talaga pakita na walang kinikilingan.
Kailangan mo talaga dyan ng solo investigation.
No?
Hindi pa nag-showcase, karami showcase din tayo.
May burden of evidence na kailangan pang ilabas, di ba? Anong gagawin ngayon?
Huwag proteksyonan yung mga kasama.
Sumurrender ka na.
Lahat yan, galit sa akin. Pero magdodonate tayo ng sandwich. Yung kay Amalos Torture. Alat kayo pala.
Tapos na ang hapunan. Pag-usapan na natin si Atty. Lorna Kapunan. Pangalan ni dating VP Binay sa impeachment nadamay. Siya kaya ang tunay na andilim. Dating Senator Bong Revilla nakapagpiyansa na. Senators Jinggoy at Marcoleta may pag-asa na rin ba? O dahil sila ay oposisyon, bail wala na. ES Ralph Recto tinarget sa Honeytrap operations. Babaeng pain, hindi kinagat. Kung dagdag na tax yan, mas malamang kayang pinatulan. At ang bad news ni Atty. Jimmy, kanino matatama? Bato-bato sa langit. Si Senator Bato, bakit nga ba naging ulo ng mga balita? Kung may tanong ka, may sagot kami. Kaya ikomento mo na yan.
Live from the BNC Studio, narito ang Politiko Talks. At narito ang ating mga makakatalk. Veteran journalist fact-checker Marichu Villanueva. Ang musikerong abogado, Atty. Jimmy Bondo. Ang kagawad na walang patawad magkomento, Jess Falcis. With our special guest, former Senate President Franklin Drilon.
Makakasama po natin, hindi na po dating Senate President, but naging Senator Judge sa impeachment trial, not just once, but twice. Pero ang pinaka-importanting tanong, ano po, how's retirement life? Senator Drilon.
Yun pala yun,
Because I don't get pressure from you. Parang may history kayo,
Yes. You know, si Senator, nanano ko, Sec. Kasi dati siyang nagsimulang Labor Secretary, then became Justice Secretary, then he became the little president of the former President Cory Aquino.
Wow!
Senate
Doon
President.
kami nagsimulang aming landas.
Yes.
Senator Drilon.
Kaya matagal, marami na kaming kasaysayan. Pero talaga trabaho lang. Baka po magkamali kayo, ha?
Paano kayo pinipressure, Sen? Paano kayo pinipressure ng aming Judge Marichu?
Paano, no?
Paano kayo pinipressure?
Ay, Diyos ko po, araw-araw ito daw, Mr. Secretary, ano ito? So kaya paliwanag ka. Matitigas ito mga ito. The brat pack during my time was more difficult than advising the President. Kaya kong pagsabihan ng Pangulo, ito mga ito, hindi.
Anyway, Senator Drilon, natatandaan ko noon, galit na galit ka doon sa 9.2 confidential funds. Tapos, billions. Pero ngayong datang sitting senator ka, di mo na napansin yun ng panahon na yon? What gives? What happened? Bakit ito lumobo?
I do not know. But ang masabi ko, this confidential intelligence fund, as a program, as an appropriation measure, should be reviewed carefully. Yan ang inaabuso. I can tell you from experience, an abused item in the budget is the CIF. The first reform that I suggest is that only those who are involved in intelligence gathering, yun lamang may mandato para maghanap magkaroon ng intelligence operation. Yun ang dapat bigyan.
What's more abused, unprogrammed appropriations or CAF?
CIF.
It's more abused.
Why? Because unprogrammed appropriation can only be spent kung mayroong pera, extra.
Triggers.
Those are the triggers. Itong confidential intelligence fund, walang trigger yan. It's already there. Ang trigger mo is the approval of the head of office.
Pero may mga notice of cash allowances, ang COA, di ba, sir? Pero post-audit naman lumalabas yun.
Yung COA, you can be audited. Natitingnan mo kung ano yung gastos at mayroong judgment kung ito yung tama o hindi. Yung intelligence funds, closed envelope system doon. Yes. Inalagay ko sa envelope, 1 million to Marichu Villanueva for buying of information. I will place it in a sealed envelope. Nobody can look at it except the Commission on Audit. But it doesn't mean that that I am not accountable for it, for the accounting.
But
I
isn't
am
that,
accountable.
yung liquidation by certification ng Congress, di ba parang similar system din? Parang ganun din?
Well, ang certification, yan po ay kasama sa trabaho ng legislator. Hindi tinatago yan eh. It's subject to open audit. And therefore, kung may pagkukulang, yan
So, na-audit din?
ino-audit. Certainly, ino-audit yun.
Yes.
Alam mo, Senator, budget season na ngayon. By next week, isasabit na yung 2027 proposed budget. Dahil dun sa flood control ghost flood control projects, nagkahigpitan, nasuspend yung iba, nauso yung for later release. Parang na-transfer of power of the purse ng Kongreso sa Presidente. So, what happened?
Alam mo, huwag nating kalimutan, yung check and balance.
Yes.
So, mayroong for later release.
Yes,
Anong
po.
ibig sabihin nun? Ang ibig sabihin, pwedeng i-impound ng Presidente.
Yes. Yun.
Dahil sa pwedeng na ang collection hindi doon as predicted, kulang. Kaya in order to prevent a huge deficit, the President exercises the power for later release.
Yes.
In theory, ganun. But in practice, pagkalaban ka sa politika, for later release.
Yes.
na
Thank you
dapat.
for your honesty.
And he should know because he was once the little president
Yeah, no,
as executive secretary.
Nag-FLR ka ba noon, Senator Frank?
Wala masyadong noon.
Hindi pa uso.
Nagiging biktima ng FLR nung panahon ni Presidente Duterte. Pero ako FLR noon.
Okay.
Kailan kasama na lahat yan sa
Okay.
trabaho.
Super minority kayo noon.
Yes.
Oo, I was
Uso
the
na kasi ang
minority leader.
super
Yes.
majority ngayon. No, ngayon, two administration so far.
Yes.
Super majority na ang
Wala
norm.
pa na.
Pag-uusapan natin more sa mamaya sa Politiko with
Mainit na kagad eh, no?
Senate
Marichu.
President. Let's go muna to the headlines, top headlines of the week. Let's go to headline number 1.
Headline number 1, Senator Bato naging ulo na naman ng mga balita. Ang pumutol ng fake news naman, mga nagsisipagtuluan. Sa anong issue naman kaya ito ginagamit para mapagtakpan? Ang balitang nahuli na si Senator Bato de la Rosa, patok o putok?
Unang tanungin dito, itong katabi ko, si Atty. Jimmy Bondo. Siya nagsimula nito na sa
Teka,
kanyang
Man of the hour.
Facebook.
Paano yung tanong?
Man of the week.
So, yung balitang nahuli na siya, patok o putok? So, obviously, putok.
Explain.
Pero, una sa lahat, magandang usapan namin ni Senator Drilon kanina backstage at nila Atty. Jess. I revealed to them the honest to God truth. No? Sabi ko, that was a confluence of, it was a bad coincidence because I was referring to something related to Bato, but not yung arrest na yan. I did not even know na may balita pa na ma-arrest na siya. Ayaw nga maniwala ni Pinky sa akin. That said, syempre hindi maganda yung balita dahil it could be many things. Sinasabi nila Atty. Torion, sometimes that is part of an intelligence operation para ma-ping yung location ni
Okay.
Bato. Sabi naman ng iba, it is a distraction from
the impeachment.
From either, or for whatever is in the overturned window. No?
Okay.
So, yun lang. But for the record, hindi po yun tungkol doon.
And you cannot reveal what it was
I
about.
can't because it's still about Bato.
Okay. Let's ask Senator Drilon. What do you think? It's patok o putok? Or in middle ground?
Yung balitang na-aresto na
si Bato.
Bato.
Senator Bato. Incumbent
Sa akin,
Senator Bato.
Hindi ko dapat pansinin yun eh. Hindi po...
Sir, ano ka? Patok o putok?
Putok, bale.
Approve or disapprove?
Disapprove?
Approve or disapprove?
Yeah, doon sa balita.
Sa balita?
Opo.
No opinion because
Ayun.
it's only balita lang yan eh. Yan po ang ating sistema. May freedom of expression. Di ilagay mo kung sino maniniwala, yan ay...
Market of ideas.
Kasama na yan.
I have a new lawyer, by the way, guys.
No, but honestly, I saw it, but I said, what the big fuss? Bakit ba nagiging issue ito? Ang daming pag-uusapan na mas patok.
Mas patok.
Halimbawa ito. Itong restraining order na ginawa ng RTC against the wage increase.
Yes, magandang issue yan.
Yun ang issue na dapat
Gusto ko pag-usapan yan.
Yeah. Dati siyang labor secretary, you should know.
Sa akin, alam mo kung anong dapat na solusyon doon? Ang Kongreso dapat magpasa ng batas na ang sasabihin, no injunction can be issued on wage increases except by the Supreme Court.
But that's already in the law of the
Yes.
regional tripartite
Nandun na ba?
Nandun na po.
Yes.
Labor Code,
Yun ang
Article
argument
1, 2,
eh.
6.
Yun ang argument
Saka sa
nila eh.
ano?
Yan ang argument ng Dole. That is in the law that you are not supposed to.
No injunction can be issued?
Yes, it's there.
Ayun
Oo.
pala.
Kaya
So what
dapat, which is why dapat may mag-certiorari siguro.
And the
Because-
Senate was
Okay.
unanimous.
Okay.
Lahat, majority, minority, they expressed their sentiment against.
Okay.
No, but
Here,
expressing a sentiment against is different from
Tama,
if it is
tama.
in the law.
Correct, correct.
Nasa
Yes.
batas ba? I am not aware na sa batas.
Klaro nila, no?
Nasa labor code din.
Labor
But
code.
it's an obscure
Provision.
Okay,
I am
let's
not,
go.
anyway, that's a good topic rather than bato.
Okay. Attorney Jeff.
Oh, mag-agree
Patok o
kami.
putok?
Mag-agree kami ni Senator, Attorney Jimmy Bondo, di
Oo,
ba?
sige.
Putok din sa akin yung balita kasi it gave me false hope. As I assume, many others nabigyan din ng false hope.
Bad ka talaga.
Pasensya na kayo, Attorney Jimmy. Siyempre, this is Politiko Talks. I have to be brutally frank. Yung bad news sana niya, good news sana namin. Wala. Yung good news naging false hope. We were expecting na arestado na nga, pero hindi. And hindi lang si Attorney Jimmy ang nagpaasa sa amin. Si Attorney Harry Roque, pinaasa din kami. Sabi ni Roque, ano ba yung sabi ni Roque? May nanghudas kay Bato. Wala naman, wala kaming nakitang hudasan. Sayang.
Itatanong ko muna kay former ES Secretary siya, Senator Drilon. Yung sabi ng Malacanang, diversionary tactic yan. Do you share the same belief?
Sa akin, wala akong opinion doon. Hindi
Okay,
ko
sige.
pinapansin yung balita na yun.
Ito lang.
Yan ang brutally frank. Yes.
Brutally frank.
Si Frank.
Frankly
Wala akong
speaking,
pakialam. I mean, that will, honestly,
I appreciate that.
it doesn't affect our daily lives.
So ito,
It's a non-issue.
may epekto sa atin. In line with the, alam mo to, kasi MLAT, Mutual Legal Assistance with the US, pina-extradite daw ng US, may request na US government to extradite Pastor Quiboloy of KOJC. Ano po ang, at present times, ma-apply po ba to natin? Yung extradition ni Pastor Quiboloy na facing human trafficking charges here in the Philippines?
Ako ang nag-negotiate tong MLAT na yun.
Yes.
Ako ang pumirma noon. Hindi
Yes.
ako pumirma. Ang Foreign Affairs Secretary ang pumirma. But I was the
Negotiator.
Justice Secretary nung binuo namin yung MLAT, the
Yes, sir. Yes,
Extradition
sir.
Treaty.
Your
Kaya,
legacy.
ano ang tanong mo? Walang masama sa nangyayari. It's consistent with the provisions of the MLAT.
Yes.
Ang issue dyan, yun ba'y papayagan ng ating judicial authorities?
Yes, kasi may pending case si human trafficking dito.
Yan ang desisyon na gagawin ng husgado. Yan ba'y papayagan nila ang temporary custody ng mga Amerikano?
Oo, yes.
Dahilan sa in two jurisdictions nangyari ang krimen, alleged krimen.
Yes po.
Philippines and
the trafficking and USA.
and the United States. So it's a question of which will be attended to or given priority. And that is a valid issue. Let the courts decide it.
Anong sagot mo dyan, Attorney Jimmy?
A disclaimer and some points. Una, si Atty. Drilon, the lawyer of Pastor
Yeah,
Quiboloy, is my partner.
Yeah.
Okay. So, sa akin, walang ka-issue sa extradition because we must differentiate this from the ICC issue. Yung
Yeah.
ICC, there's a jurisdictional question. We all have our different views, pero at least may difficult question of law doon. Dito wala. The extradition law, they have passed, no? Okay. That said, feeling ko lang, medyo hindi maganda na naman na dagok sa ating judicial system kasi pag na-extradite siya, naunahan na naman tayo ng justice system ng ibang bansa.
Jimmy,
Tapos,
let's be candid with each other.
Yes.
A lot of things are wrong with our justice system.
yes, and I appreciate that acknowledgement, no? Kasi nga, ang mangyayari niyan, ang tagal nang naka-detain ni Pastor. mauunahan na naman tayo ng ibang jurisdiction.
Attorney Jess, your point of view.
More than the legal considerations, ang tinitingnan ko dyan, yung politika, syempre, no?
Yeah.
President Bongbong Marcos has only 2 years left in office, no? And let's just say, whether nga ang politika, maiba ang ihip ng hangin, it would be more politically strategic, I would guess, no? I'm not saying, alam ko ang utak ng Malacanang, pero if I were part of this admin, I would prefer shipping out Quiboloy to the United States para whatever happens in 2028, he's somebody else's problems, not in my backyard.
Okay, on that note, let's move to headline number 2.
Headline number 2, ES Valproyecto. Sinubukang bigyan ng ES extra sinful activities. May mga pangalan ngang nadamay sa Honeytrap operations at ang maugong na naituturo ay si Congressman Leviste. Ang probe ng NBI sa operasyong ito, patok o putok?
Former Justice Secretary Drilon, because NBI is under the DOJ, di ba, sir? What's your take? Potok o putok?
Ano lang, do I agree or I don't agree? Ganun
Yes, sir.
ba?
Yes, sir.
I agree that this should be investigated.
Hawak mo yun, sir, ano mo?
Anong dapat?
Kulay blue.
Yan, blue. Patok.
Blue, yan. Oh. Sa akin po, ito'y nagpapakita lamang how do you call this? How bad we have gone. Talagang this is the pitch. You know, can you imagine entrap recto? Isn't that condemnable?
And for other government officials daw, not only recto. They plan to entrap for other government officials.
You know, entrapment is illegal.
If it's instigatory, no? Pag may instigation.
So, ako, I think we should punish those who tried to do this. Sino man sila. Kung totoo na kung totoo itong sinasabi.
Attorney Jimmy.
Si Attorney Mark Tolentino has clarified in another show here in Bilyonaryo that it was not a honey trap, as a matter of fact. It was not a honey trap daw. He is the lawyer for Jing Paras, who is one of the former congressman. Our friend. No? Hi, Jing. Yung ano kasi, honey trap presupposes that there's a future plan na itatrap mo siya by giving beautiful women. Ang nangyari dito, the affidavits of the girls show na nangyari na. It was a sexual exploit in 2025. So, walang entrapment. Walang entrapment, to be clear. Ang sinasabi ni Mark Tolentino. Ang sinisisi nila ngayon is humingi daw ng pera yung alias Ken, alias Ken, the bugaw, I'm sorry for the words, no? Na humingi daw ng pera para mag-execute ng affidavits tong mga to. So that's the issue and that's as far as I will go because I'm not the lawyer. Pero if it is a honey trap, it is inaccurate to say it's an entrapment because it's a past event.
Attorney Jess.
Nangyari na.
Okay, Attorney Jess.
Well, syempre, parang si Senator Frank, patok sa akin na may investigation. Like kay Laila de Lima, I am against false incrimination. I am against planting of charges or making up false accusations. So, consistent dito kung mayroong attempt to make false accusations against ES Ralph Recto by trying to trap him, it should be investigated. Yes. Ang sabi naman sa akin ng Tweety Bird ko, syempre, counter or kontra dun sa sinasabi ni Attorney Mark Tolentino na the talent manager / Bugaw admitted in his affidavit na it is a future trap. So, tingnan natin, magiging ano nga yan talaga, laban ng testimony or evidence between the suspected people conspiring to do it and versus the witnesses who are also maybe not trustworthy kasi nga bugaw sila to begin with. But let's see kung may patutunguhan itong investigation.
Alam mo, Senator Drilon, ang co-accused dito ni Jing Paras, former Congressman Jing Paras, is incumbent Batangas Congressman Leviste.
Nadamay pa.
Yeah. Pero nakaalis na daw si Congressman Leviste along with his mother, Senator Loren Legarda. Pero meron siyang pending investigation ng NBI. Paano nakalusot yun? Sa NBI, Sabi ko nga, bakit hindi sila nag-issue ng LBO para
Wala namang
Pero
ilbo.
hindi naman pwede mag-issue ng whole departure order ng NBI.
Yes.
Hindi, I mean, they can
Natin.
recommend, they can
Ha?
ask, they can ask. They can ask the BI, which is under your office also as DOJ
No,
in the past.
even if they ask the NBI, hindi pwede mag-issue ang NBI.
Yes.
Husgado lang pwede mag-issue.
Hindi na BI, Bureau of Immigration.
Remember, hindi pwede ang NBI mag-issue.
Yes, I know.
Husgado ang dapat.
Yes. Pero di ba ang Bureau of Immigration nag-i-issue ng lookout bulletin pending filing of case?
Hindi whole departure order.
Yes, sir.
Lookout bulletin.
Yes.
Ang sinasabi nila, pag lumabas si Itzo Villanueva, may kaso yan, sasabihin ko sa immigration, teka ha, huwag ko muna umalis, sasabihin ko muna sa immigration.
Yun nga. Pero sabi ko nga, natutulog sila sa pansitan. They did not anticipate na yung mga congressman, yung mga senador na yan, they frequently travel. Di ba dapat forward thinking naman yun, dapat, Jess?
Well, to be fair, no, may presumption of innocence pa naman.
Yun,
wala
salamat
pang
po.
kasong na-file. Pero hindi naman sila natutulog sa pansitan because na-monitor naman ng NBI eh.
Yes.
NBI Director Melvin Matibag indeed announced na he confirmed na lumipad nga abroad. Ang masasabi ko lang dito, sabi syempre ng aking sources, mental health break or pahinga naman from the controversies ang ginagawa ni Senator Loren tsaka ni Congressman Leandro Leviste. At hindi ito ang unang time na may pinagdadaanan si Senator Loren. Nung natalo siya as Vice President in the 2004 elections, sobrang lungkot din niya nun, if not related sa mental health. So, ngayon, I think everybody deserves a break. Ang aking lang dito, tirada lang dito, no, or sundot kay Senator Loren, with all due respect to Senate President Win Gatchalian, ang sabi niya, ang mga senador daw, hindi daw kailangan ng travel authority for personal trips. No offense again. Normal government employees, normal people have to get travel authorities. Bakit hindi po yon applicable kay personal trip ni Senator Loren? That's always a privilege. I know all senators have availed. No offense din, Senator Frank. But that just goes to show na ang mga senador talaga parang very privileged na iba ang treatment sa senador.
Hindi, I don't agree.
Without due respect.
Pag personal ang biyahe mo, that means walang government funds. And therefore, you do not need the clearance.
Yes, that's the explanation of that.
Huwag naman na, bakit pumunta ako sa kung saan, personal ko
But
naman.
non-senators, sir, for their personal trips,
Okay.
still need a travel
Yes.
authority.
Okay.
Sino?
Non-senators,
Yung mga plantilla, halimbawa, government
barangay,
employees.
appointed.
Yeah.
Kagawad.
Yes.
Anyway,
Anyway, sige.
I will have my last words. Sabi ni NBI Matibag kay Congressman Leviste, good voyage. Ang sabi naman ni Ombudsman Remulla kay Senator Legarda at kay Leviste, kasi meron silang 10 billion plunder case na iniimbestigahan ng Ombudsman. Babalik sila. Kung hindi sila babalik silang nakaposas. Anyway, let's go to headline number 3.
Headline number 3. Ex-Senator Bong Revilla nakapagpiyansa na at pansamantalang lalaya muna. Ang kanyang kaso, mabebeliwala na rin kaya. Ang 1 milyong bail ni Bong, patok o putok?
Tatanungin ko si former Senate President Drilon because former Senator Bong Revilla once served under you. Ano po to? Patok o putok?
Anong
bail.
pato?
The 1 million bail paid by...
Granting of
Alam mo,
bail.
Itzo.
Patok o putok? Middle ground.
Gitna, ganyan.
No, ganito yan eh. Hindi bailable yan if the evidence of guilt is strong. Alam mo, Jimmy,
Yes.
alam natin yan. Ngayon, ang judgment ng husgado, the evidence is not strong. Kaya, ako hindi ko alam kung anong ebidensya eh.
Okay.
So, hindi ko sasabihin na mali o tama. Kasi ang batas sinasabi, for capital offenses, bail shall not be granted except where the evidence of guilt is strong. Eh kung wala kang ebidensya, hindi ba pwedeng, tama ba na hindi ka bibigyan ng bail? But labag sa batas yan. Ngayon, kung malakas ang ebidensya, pwede pupunta ang ombudsman sa Supreme Court at i-question ang bail.
Kinamesyon na nga nila. Kinamesyon na nga nila. Kaya bilib ako kay Justice Secretary nun, kay Justice Drilon. Human rights lagi pinaglalaban niya.
Bongga.
Oh, yes. Attorney Jimmy,
Ako, legal and political. On the legal side, it's a non-issue. Kasi, unang-una...
Patok o putok?
Patok, na binigyan siya ng bail kasi it's a non-issue legally. Dahil una, Article 3, Section 13 yata yun, di ba? Excessive bail shall not be required. Pangalawa, meron na mga sa Rules of Court, sa Rule 114 on the guidelines. Kung hindi ko naman alam yung pinagbasihan nila. Pero nakalagay dyan, flight risk ba siya? Siguro, sabi ng judge, hindi naman flight risk to. Lagi naman nandito. On the political side, yun ang mas gusto kong malaman. Bakit kaya ngayon? Bakit siya ngayon
Kantayan na.
Bakit ngayon? No, but I'm glad for him, by the way. Kasi isa ako sa mga unang naawa nung siya ay napag-tripan dyan. No? Pero ngayong nagrantan siya ng bail, I'm very curious, bakit kaya biglang siya ay binigyan ng bail?
Okay.
Bakit ngayon?
Wala kang sagot, ha?
Wala. Kasi para sa'yo yun eh.
Sige, ikaw daw sasagot.
Patanong ka lang, ha?
Patok o putok?
Okay, syempre, alam mo naman tayo, fearless views. Putok. Hindi po maganda na grinant po siya ng bail. So, with all due respect to Senator Franklin Drilon and of course to Atty. Jimmy, ako kasi, so when I read the news, no, and I followed the trial, dalawang beses na po nagte-testify si Yusek Roberto Bernardo where he says this was in the bail hearing and this was in the trial proper. So twice na. Twice na po niyang sinabi na nagbigay siya ng commitments directly and personally to Senator Bong Revilla.
Advance payment.
Or advance payments. Basta nagbigay diretso ng pera, millions of pesos. So, yung decision to grant bail was decided by 3 justices and 2 only decided to allow it, 1 dissented. So, with all due respect, again, to the Honorable Sandigan Bayan Justices na dalawa, with all due respect, mali po kayo na the evidence of guilt is weak. No, meron kang state witness, Yusek Bernardo, who personally said na he saw and he gave yung sensorial experiences niya, money to Senator Bong Revilla. I don't know what else, what kind of evidence can be strong if not that. DPWH, Yusek ito, part siya ng gumawa ng flood control scheme. Inaamin niya. No, inaamin niya as being a state witness. That's on the legal side. Indulge me sa political side. Si Atty. Jimmy kasi, patanong lang eh.
Na-inspire ka ba?
Ang problema ko, hindi ko sasagutin din. Hindi sasagutin. Ang problema ko, lagi kong sinasabi na itong administrasyon, walang sinasanto. Alyado man o hindi kaalyado. Sabi ko nga, kaalyado si Senator Bong kasi alyansa slate siya. So, syempre, I would acknowledge yung mga nagtatanong na, ay pagkaalyado, papayagan ang bail. Pag hindi kaalyado, hindi ba papayagan? At hindi ko sinasabing, the Sandigan Bayan Justices can be pressured. Ombudsman Boying Revilla ang nagtatanong yan.
Remulla.
Ombudsman Boying Remulla nagtatanong na trinabaho daw ba yung bail. So baka yan ang maging impression politically with all due respect po ulit sa Sandigan Bayan.
Ako tatanong kay former Justice Secretary Senator Drilon. Yung, alisin natin mga pangalan. Alisin na yung Bong Revilla. Alisin na natin yung Jinggoy at Marcoleta, mga pangalan. Kasi sinasabi lang, pag opposition, hindi nagagrant. Do you think yung 1 million bail out of a 92 million alleged graft enough? Is that commensurate?
There are rules for that. I'm sorry, but I have been out of practice. Mayroon pong reglamento yan kung magkano dapat ang i-bail. So, hindi dapat arbitrary. Dapat sang-ayon sa proseso. Ang issue din na mas mabigat, dapat mabigyan siya ng bail. Yun ang mas mabigat. Hindi
Not the amount. Not the amount.
Not the amount.
Yes.
Was it properly done? Ako, hindi ko alam kung ano
Kasi
kaso
1 million, tapos 92 million yung
No, even if it's 10 million or 100 million, to me, is secondary. Ang importante, bakit siya may bail? Yun ba, mahina ang ebidensya o malakas ang ebidensya?
Tsaka it won't make a difference, right? Even if they make it 10 million. Unang-una, you don't pay the whole 10 million. May pwede mong utangin yon.
Okay.
Bond. Pero nakikita ko yung tanong mo, Mami Chuno. Of course, syempre, mga lawyers will not find a problem with that. Ako, taking out my lawyer hat and putting on a political hat or layman hat, nakikita ko yung mga tao, medyo uncomfortable sa idea na 1 million lang yung bail despite the 92 million. Masingit ko na din, syempre, si Ombudsman Boying Remulla, not Revilla, no? Ombudsman Boying Remulla has also asked the question, may pinapasoling pera noon kay Senator Bong Revilla,
Yes, the old
despite being acquitted, which is a very weird decision ng Sandigan Bayan, with all due respect ulit, no? Sabi nyo, acquitted si Senator Bong, pero pinapasoli nyo parang 100 million plus. Sabi ni Ombudsman, bakit hindi pa nasosoli?
Okay. Babalik ng question ko kay Senator Justice, former Justice Secretary. Ano yung image na napoproject dito ng justice system natin? Kaya na-express mo na nga yung...
Wala, to me, ang problema natin sa tingin ko, our problem today in general is the culture of impunity.
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 You can get away with it.
Yung tao, hindi na sumusunod sa batas. Hindi natatakot na hindi susundin ng batas kasi walang nakukulong.
Oh my
so,
God.
in other words, to me, excuse me for saying this, but the impunity, culture of impunity that we have today is because of the failure of the rule of law.
Yeah.
Hindi po sumusunod, hindi napaparusahan.
Okay. Pag-uusapan natin ang sina Lim, Mary Grace Piatos at ang impeachment trial when we go back sa Politiko Talks. You are still watching Politiko Talks sa Bilyonaryo News Channel, sa Politiko Talks Facebook page at sa Abante Online. Ngayon po, magpolitaktakan tayo bago tayo maghiwalay kanina. Bago po tayo na pumunta sa impeachment trial, mukhang may komento kayo doon sa pagbasura ng Supreme Court sa petition against the impeachment ni Sara Duterte.
Ako sangayon ako doon.
Bakit po?
At alam mo, dapat huwag makialam ang Korte Suprema sa impeachment. Ang nakalagay sa ating saligang batas, the Senate acting as an impeachment court shall be the sole judge to try and decide an impeachment case. Kahit ang Pangulo, ang Korte Suprema, hindi dapat makialam sa impeachment.
Bakit ang mga petitioners pumupunta sa Supreme Court?
Hoy, kami yun, ha? Baka warning lang, kami yun.
Aray!
Sa akin,
Para lang mag-ingat kayo konti.
ako, Jimmy,
Biro lang. Go ahead.
Ang aking paniwala, dapat hindi makialam ang Korte Suprema. Dahil sa maliwanag naman ang nakalagay sa saligang batas. The Senate as an impeachment court shall be the sole power, to try and decide. So, ano ibig sabihin ng soul? Siya lang ang pwede.
Nag-iisa.
Oo. Pero sa akin.
Pero di ba, yung unang Supreme Court ruling, sinet aside yung
Last year. Nakialam sila.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Tingnan mo yan. So, sasali ba ang Korte Suprema sa trial? Hindi dapat
Kaya nga, natatandaan ko na nagko-cover ako ng DOJ, kasama ang Supreme Court, si the late Justice Claudio Tihanki. Every time may mga political question, sabi na, it's not a non-justiciable question. Dinidismiss na.
Hindi lang ito non-justiciable Nakalagay sa saligang batas.
Yes. Nandoon na, naka-spell out na.
So, nandiyan na yan. So, what?
Pero how can you naman to tell the people the Supreme Court is the last resort, the last tribunal
Court of last
to
resort.
turn to last resort?
May mga limitation naman. Hindi naman po pwede absolute. Ang last resort is di saligang batas.
Constitution.
Oh, galing nun,
The
ha?
last resort is the Constitution.
Ganda yun.
The Constitution says that the Senate shall have the power to try and decide, the sole power.
So that should explain why the petitioners went to the Supreme Court. Because that's...
No, this is a sincere question to Sir Brutally Frank.
Frankly speaking.
No, because he's right. He's right. Pero kuminsan kasi, there are instances na paano gagawin natin pag yung Senate are breaking constitutional rules? Dapat bang magmadali tayo sa Korte Suprema or hindi? Halimbawa, the presiding officer issue na nakalagay in the records of the Constitutional Commission na dapat daw pag hindi presidenteng ini-impeach, ang presiding officer yung Senate President. Diba? Nandun sa deliberations. They did not follow that.
But they have the Senate rules. They amended the Senate rules.
No. The presiding officer is the Senate President.
Yes.
I mean,
Dapat.
it is,
Dapat.
The Senate President presides over the session ang si
Jesus Cordero.
theoretically.
Correct.
Si
So parang,
Jesus Cordero.
but the Senate President is win, di ba? Pero si...
Cheese ang nagpe-preside.
No, I guess my question is, paano kapag merong violations yung impeachment court against the Constitution?
The remedy is political. Sa sunod na election, kasalanan na lang
I
ng
see.
mga...
Okay. That's a good...
What about
I see.
Attorney Jimmy, what about kung bumaba ang number to convict? It's still a nagging question until now. Hindi lang ako to, ha? Ako ang isa sa mga unang niya noon. Pero ibang tao sinasabi na 16 pa din ba? Eh kung meron kang mga MIA, meron kang mga hindi mahanap, may arestado. Paano yun, Sen? Kung babain?
Hindi ko alam if the Supreme Court will interfere. Pero pag nag-interfere sila dyan, ang sasabihin na this involves an interpretation of the Constitution.
Yes.
And therefore, we have jurisdiction.
Yeah, sa Supreme Court. Pero yung sinabi na nga ng, I just would like to correct, no? The Senate President, si Senator Drilon before, inamend nila yung Senate rules, pinablish. So, pag na-publish na yung rules ng Senate on impeachment,
Effective
it is
na.
effective, good as law, di ba?
Just to be clear, may Senate rules, pero it cannot rise above the Constitution at yung rasyo ng Constitution.
Oh, pero nakalagay doon,
na may
unless
deliberation.
otherwise amended by Congress itself, di ba? Inamend nga ng Senate eh.
Sinama niyo ba sa petition niyo yun?
Wala yung unless
Yung-
otherwise amended, ha? Walang ganun, ha? Doon sa deliberation.
Jimmy, paano?
The presiding officer.
It's still on the presiding officer issue na gumawa sila ng rules. So, yung rules ba will rise higher than the constitutional deliberations? Yun ang magandang tanong.
Well, ako just to answer that, syempre to give the counter perspective sa mga nakikinig, no? Ang sinasaid kasi ni Atty. Jimmy, the deliberations. The Constitution itself is silent whether or not you can assign someone else other than the Senate President as the presiding officer. So yun yung theory, legal theory na sinusundan ni na Jesus Cordero, Kiko Pangilinan, and the majority
If
bloc
not
right
prohibited, it is allowed.
now. What is not prohibited is allowed.
Okay. Anyway,
Anyway, we submit to the Supreme Court
yes,
to
tapos
be
na.
very clear.
Moot and epidemic na.
Humut an epidemic.
Moot and epidemic na.
Maganda yun, ha?
Oo. Anyway, si Senator Judge, former Senator Judge Drilon, napakinggan naman nila, siyempre live di man ang streaming.
Kuminsan.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
Napapanood mo. Ang daming documents na present.
Voluminous.
Oo, di ba, may mga stipulations na hindi na nga titingnan yung stipulation. Yung mga resibo baga.
Yung resibo, matindi.
Sa language sa mga kabataan, resibo. Do you agree or not to the effective tactic na to, sir, yung stipulation?
Yes, stipulation and taking judicial notice is a way to shorten the proceedings
Yes.
and make it legally binding.
Yes.
Kaya hindi naman po pwedeng sundin mo sa husgado lahat. Tell mo, on the first 2 days, it took them 2 days
Yes.
to accept or to prove that the authenticity
The video.
of the video. Ay, 10 milyong Pilipino nakapanood doon eh. Bakit ba naman? To me, my criticism there is that the presiding officer could have said, we take judicial notice of the existence of this. Tapos.
Pero parang naging tactic na ito ng defense, pardon me for noting it. Hindi man ako lawyer. Pero kasi nung first witness yung COA, nag-agree sila na do away with the 2/3, yung 10 boxes, 5 boxes na lang stipulate na bubuksan. Para itong pangalawang witness na COA, ayaw nang tanggapin ng defense yung stipulation. At they want to go to the judicial notice. Di ba yun ang last
Yeah, but do you know why? Kasi it's a chain of custody issue, ha? Yung defense submitted these ARs
Acknowledgement receipts.
DepEd and COA, acknowledgement receipts, they submitted it to COA. But after that, what their contention is that the prosecution has to prove the chain of custody, that these are the same receipts.
Yes.
So,
but alam mo, Jimmy, with all due respect, the impeachment court is not bound by the technical rules of evidence.
Correct. I agree.
And for the sake of expediency, as long as justice is not denied, we should stipulate and allow the proceedings to go without the so much resort to technicality. Sabi si Jimmy, yung pangkaraniwang mamamayan, hindi na nanonood eh. Dahilan sa...
Mga technical terms.
And Sen, Attorney Jimmy, Mami Chu, no? May Solomonic solution sana si Attorney Lorna Kapunan eh. But Presiding Officer Chis Escudero did not follow on it or the Defense Counsel did not bite. Ang sabi ni Attorney Lorna Kapunan, okay, let's go ahead. Let's use your own ARs.
Yes.
Ayaw nyo na hindi kayo tiwala sa ARs namin na may chain of custody issue. Eh di gagamitin namin yung ARs nyo. Ang problema ko kay Presiding Officer Chis Escudero, pasensya na po, pasintabi
Your best
po.
friend.
Bakit hindi nyo po parang napansin yun? It's a very, very common sense, sensible solution. Sa Defense Counsel naman, ba't hindi nyo pinatulan? ARs nyo yun. Eh di yun yung pinaka-genuine, yun yung pinaka-authentic sa side
Pero
nyo.
in fairness, Chis, wala sa power niya na i-force mag-stipulate yung
Magsasuggest lang
yung
siya.
defense.
Oo.
Pero
Kasi
hindi
that's
niya
beyond his
elaborate, hindi
power.
niya tinanong yung defense, aren't you willing to do that? Ganon.
Tatanong ko si former Senator Judge, are you acceptable na yung acknowledgement receipt, i-accept na lang, pero may mga kaduda-dudang mga pangalan doon sa Chris Piatos, Andy Lim.
Yeah, to me, yun ang nakalagay eh. It is admissible as an evidence but not of the truth of
its contents.
the contents.
Tsaka napakinggan ko yung COA na si Wamil. Ang explanation niya, ang focus doon ng COA is on the use of the intelligence fund and not on the names. Ay, kung kwento ni Sir, nung galing sa executive, both sa executive tsaka sa legislative, alam niya yung mga proseso eh.
Paper audit lang daw kasi,
Oo.
sabi ng COA.
Sa envelope
Sila.
nga, di ba sabi ni Sir, sa envelope lalagay. Oh.
Well, hindi mo masisiyan ko because trabaho ng ombudsman yan, post-audit.
Although si former COA Commissioner Heidi Mendoza on this show, on Memo sa ating station din, sa ating network, suggested na sana nagkaroon ng further fraud audit. Parang may layers daw po, no? Audit query, audit observation memorandum, notice of disallowance, etc.
Which did not
Meron
happen.
pang fraud audit. So, yun nga, paper audit lang ang ginawa ng COA.
Yeah, okay.
Senator Drilon.
Ano?
Kasi alam ko, nakakamingal yung panyera mo, si Kapunan, Lorna Kapunan. How do you observe her conduct of the prosecution side na may mga side comments, scam, that says scam?
Wala akong problema doon. Because that is where the attention of the people pwede pong magiging basihan na subaybayan ng taong bayan. Alam mo, ako, abogado, dalawang beses dumaan dyan sa impeachment. Ako'y naboboard eh. I get bored.
Kayo mismo.
Ako mismo, I get bored.
Kahit abogado ka.
Lalo ng yung mga taong bayan. At that is where the system will fail. Kung ang taong bayan hindi ba niniwala sa nakikita nila dahil sa hindi na sa nanonood, dahil boring. So wala masama doon sa sinabi ni Lorna.
Hindi pa daw niya napapanood ang Odyssey. Is that inappropriate or appropriate din?
May mga comments na siguro pang pagising.
Pagising. Baka sila kasi naboboard din.
Ikaw, ano masasabi mo doon sa side comment ng scam?
Siyempre,
She got away with it, but Presiding Officer Chis Escudero called her attention to it.
yeah, but it's useless naman to strike it out. Nasabi na eh. di ba?
Nasabi na eh. Oo.
Ako, the reason why I have to be objective about this is, although I'm from the other side, siyempre ayoko yun. Ba't mo sasabihin yun? Pero I understand her kasi she's trying to keep the attention of the public. Tsaka kung ano man yung hindi niya ma-prove by evidence, gusto niya makasapak naman kahit isa lang para lang makuha ang favor ng public.
It's a performance.
Yes, because it's I was going to use that word. At the end of the day, it's still a performance. Otherwise, why televise it? Diba? If it's not a performance.
Like this is a performance.
Yes.
Joke!
Ay, tatanong ko si Atty. Jimmy. Bakit naman to si VP Sara as the accused here in this case, eh nagbibigay ng mga statements na hindi naman walang relation sa impeachment?
Bakit si Lorna pwede magsabi ng statements tapos si VP Sara hindi pwede?
Na walang kinalaman.
We're all trying to keep the attention of the public.
Okay. Pero, di ba, exchange sila ngayon ni Jose Claire Castro na sabi ni Jose Claire Castro in rebuttal to VP Sara, maging professional ka. What's your take on this? Tapos, nagkasagutan tuloy yung mga nonsensical, mga di ba? Attorney Jess, anong take mo doon?
Sorry, Mami Chu, ibahin ko yung usapan kasi hindi kasi sa akin importante yun eh. May gusto kong ipasok, pasensya ka na. With your indulgence, justice ha. Gusto kong puntahan yung kay Senator Amy Marcos.
Ano?
Because she was very misleading.
Ano?
Meron siyang sinasabi na hindi daw dapat sisihin si VP Sara at only the Special Disbursing Officer because ang accountable officer daw
Yung
ay
or.
the head of agency or the Special Disbursing Officer. Mali siya dun. If she read, kasi hindi siya lawyer eh, if she read the Joint Circular 2015, iba ang definition ng accountable officer sa definition ng Special Disbursing Officer. Yung or na sinasabi niya ay nasa SDO. The SDO is the head of agency or any regular employee, blah, blah, blah. Pero sa accountable officer, it is always the head of agency and any other employee and hindi or.
Actually, the second part of my question is, dapat, ang tanong ng bayan kasi, ng mga mamayan, it's the constitutional duty of the Vice President na suportahan ng Presidente. Eh, bakit hindi lang siya mag-statement of support ng mga particular program na, tapos mag-comment siya, mag-critical kung mag-suggest
No,
siya?
I think the question is it the constitutional duty of the VP to support the President?
Yes, actually, I would have to disagree. Attorney Jimmy ako. Para naman matuwa siya sa akin, no? It is not the
Matagal na ako
constitutional
natutuwa
duty
sa'yo.
of the VP to support the President.
Tatanong ko ito si Senator
It is the
Drilon.
constitutional duty of the VP to support the Republic.
Okay.
Iba ang Republic versus the President.
Hindi, tsaka kasalanan niya ng constitution natin talaga. Dahil, in the States, di ba nga, magkapartido yung nananalo, Presidente, Vice President.
Dito, hindi.
Tayo, by design, dahil ginawa nating free-for-all yan, it happens tuloy na magkaatunggali.
Let's ask the former little
What
president.
is the issue?
Is it the constitutional duty of the Vice President to support the President?
Constitutional duty?
Yes,
No.
yes. Tama.
It is the
It's not
constitutional duty to defend the Republic,
correct.
but not to defend the President.
What about the political duty? Kasi unit team sila nanalo.
Wala nga, nag-break na nga.
That is a political question that will be settled in the
Ballot box.
In the ballot box.
Wow.
Ipapasok na dito sa segue yung sinasabi ni Defense Secretary Gibo Chidoro na yung mga pro-China
Ay, maganda yan.
mga especially incumbent government officials should be held liable under the administrative
resign.
order.
Umalis na raw,
Yeah.
magbitaw
Mga
na raw.
pro-China daw should
Yes.
resign.
Ang sagot naman ni VP Sara, name names.
At si Kong Pulong, sabi din,
Oo.
sino yan?
Name names. Ano mo sasabi mo doon, Senator Judge?
Both are right. So,
are right.
kung si Gibo has the right to say, dapat mag-resign kayo. But that is a matter for the recipient of that criticism. I have my own mandate. I have my own policy. Bakit? Anong illegal to support China?
Oh, pwede.
Kasi may objective daw yan eh.
May
Objective para hindi yung personal na yun. Kasi it's under administrative order, ito yung dapat mong gawin. May objective measures, parameters.
AO12 ni Pinoy, Administrative Order 12. I
Which
think.
is basically...
Which is about the West Philippine Sea.
Yes.
I don't recall. Pero ako ang comment ko dyan kasi, Mami Chu, out of all the government officials, bakit silang dalawa ang nag-react sa statement ni Sec Gibo? Ano ba yan? Bato-bato sa langit, ang tamaan.
Pero in fairness naman to them, matagal na kasi silang tinatawag na pro-China. So,
Ayun.
siguro kaya sila nag-react na, kung kami yung pinapatamaan nyo, sabihin nyo na lang.
So,
parang
diretsahan
ganon,
na
di ba?
lang.
So,
And of
hindi
course,
si-
they've denied that for a long time. They've denied na pro-China sila.
So, hindi sila pro-China.
No.
Anyways,
Pro-Philippines yan.
okay. We will go to our Pokyo o Political Quickies pagbabalik ng Politiko Talks. Ito lang to, sir, ang ating political quickies, your forecasting for the next 24 hours, next 2 days, whatever. Ano po ba ang matatapos na ba yung mga bubusisiin, mga resibo sa impeachment trial? Do you think matatapos yung documentary na yan? Evidences?
Tatapusin yan. Kasi yan ang basihan theoretically, yan ang basihan ng judgment, yung mga resibo. Tatapusin nila yan.
How many thousands of documents yan? Tapos naglalapitan sila, diba? Ito ba yung pirma mo?
May mga proseso sa ating rules of court na siyang magbibigay ng paraan para po hindi ganun kahaba na aabutan tayo 10 taon. Ang sinasabi ko, ayan, yung we take judicial notice
Yes.
na maganda si Itso Villanueva.
Wow! That's
Tapos yan.
Oh, tapos yan.
Hindi
Walang
na
objection.
kailangan
No objection.
You do not need to prove na maganda ka.
Oh my God, ang galing!
Yan naman ang talaga. So,
Subjective pala yan.
Kaya talaga seasoned politician si Senator Franklin.
but that's really true. These two lawyers, they're practicing. In order to expedite the proceeding, you take judicial notice ngayon. Kung hindi sang-ayon yung isang party doon, ay you bring it to the Supreme Court and say mali yung decision ng presiding officer.
Ito, I will take disadvantage na, kasi ako talaga mayroong personal kay Senator Drilon, nang panahon na nag-aagawan sa Senate Presidency noon, yung mga Senate ko, di ba? Si Maceda, naaw si Angara. Ang natira na lang, 5 senador na Angara, Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, Drilon, Blas Ople, and Herrera. And na-out 24 senators yun, 5 lang sila. Can you give us a glimpse of the past and now what's happening to the present?
Aba, hindi naman sa iyabang, but talagang mahirap ang debate noong panahon namin.
Yes. Di ba? Naging minority kayo dati ko sa Senate ko.
Kaya
Mas
kayo
madugo.
nabobor ngayon.
Totoo yan.
Masyadong elementary.
O ikaw, Attorney Jimmy, ano ang pokyo mo?
I think gagawin ng lahat ng majority na mabuksan talaga yung account. They will use the whole panoply of the forces of government now. Kasi doon nakarest yung kanilang argument.
Okay.
So pag hindi nila nabuksan, just in case hindi nila mabuksan, it weakens so much their argument.
Teka, naalala ko yung Maleta Boys, ang latest news.
Nag-recant.
Yung 4, yung 10, hindi nag-post ng bail, 18,000 per bail ang bail ban sa
Per case.
per count.
Per count.
Per person, 4 silang per counts.
Oh.
Kaya mga 72,000 kailangan bayaran. Ba't di pa binayaran ni Atty. Baligod yun?
Baka hindi totoo yung may nagbayad sa kanila. Ibig sabihin, wala silang pera.
Yung
But
4.
what's more interesting is, pagkatapos sila mag-recant, inatras na rin ni Senator Trillanes yung mga kaso dun sa 4.
Yes, oo.
So,
Yung cyber
you
libel.
make the connections.
Attorney Jess?
1, I take judicial notice of Senator Drilon's brilliance, di ba? Legally and politically.
And the judicial notice about me.
No comment. I invoke my 2, madami pang Maleta Boys ang babaliktad next week. 3, Tuesday and Wednesday, Gina Acosta and Fajarda. Very exciting kasi mga hostile witnesses, especially kung masalang na sina Colonel La Chica and Colonel Nolasco. Ang tagal na namin kayong inaantay!
Teka, Attorney Jimmy, may babaliktad pa bang sa Bagman?
No idea. No idea. Kaso ni Atty. Levy yan. Pero ang alam ko is si Levy is in possession of some texts na nag-apologize sa kanila or nagpapasintabi na talaga we're very tempted to accept this ganun. So I have no horse in this race ha. Diyan sa issue ng recanting ha. Ang sa akin lang is kung meron talagang hawak si Levy na nagsosorry sila, it weakens the recantation.
Okay. Now, we are going to thank our special guest for tonight.
Very honored, sir. Very honored.
Former
very
Senate
much.
President Franklin Drilon, frankly
Salamat. Thank you
speaking,
very much, Franklin.
and my co-host, Attorney Jimmy
Thank you, ma'am.
Bondo, and Attorney Jess
Very
Falcis.
beautiful.
Judicial notice
Yes.
na ngayon.
Judicial notice.
On record na.
May record na. Kaya ako dito sa Politiko Talks, may say ka sa politika.
Okay. Very good.